Hey there, fellow geneticists, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld, the first Wendigo, episode 235, 90.909%. Oh, finally! I've been waiting for them to get around to actually breaking down these sections so that the wind and solar wasn't impeded. Okay, there's a small section that can't be supported without pillar, but, you know, whatever. Don't care. So then the thought was to put, like, 2 more solar panels here. And then I'll start transitioning over to ship reactors in order to supplement the power grid better. So there's obviously more space for more solar if I wanted it. But I'm going to hold off because the variability of renewables has been a problem already. And it's hard to solve the variability of renewable power with just batteries alone, because it has such an explosive risk. So are these prisoners not being offered up? Yeah, okay, this is the problem. They weren't allowed to have herbal meds, which means that they weren't getting implanted. So I fixed that. I'm going to start running the operations. Did I know the wind turbine body can be covered? Yeah, and it's just not really worth doing, because you know it's not a standable. It's a passable but not standable map tile, and it just looks weird when you do it. So I don't. What would reactor raids for this colony look like? Wouldn't look really any different. We're at maximum raid point value. So the way that the game works is it calculates like how large your raids will be, depending on many different factors. You can read into raid strength on the RimWorld wiki. But the TLDR is like, once your colony matures to a certain point, you essentially max out how big your raids can be. And we've had maximum sized raids for a long time now because of how wealthy this colony is and how late in the game it is. It's been 14 years. So the reactor raids would be more raids, more subsequent raids back to back, but it wouldn't be larger. They would just be more frequent. I would probably want to do that. Well, all right. There's an argument actually to be made to do it in the winter or in the summer. So in the winter, the advantage would be that it would be a lot easier to process because the result of the raids would be mechanoids, which would be shredded. And then mechs are easier to manage in some ways because they are, you know, they're not going to spit fire on me or anything like that. And then the advantage of doing it in the summer is I can actually get some humanoid raiders for corpses. But at this point, I would say corpses are actually a bit of a detriment. Not that Wendy would consider this, but like in terms of like how smooth this colony is running, the more corpses I have on the map tile, the more rough the game is going to run. So it might actually be a bad idea to do summer reactor raids, because I will, you know, inevitably end up in a situation where my CPU like tries to cook itself, and I don't really want that to happen, believe it or not. How big is the save game file? It's not that bloated. I mean, it's big, but it's not like obscene. All right, we got partial antitoxal lungs and goat juice dependency, so neither of things that I want. That resolves that prediction. Oh, was that prediction not even running? It apparently wasn't. Never mind. The next one will be attempting to scan acid spray and robust. So Naoko is going to be the first one in as soon as they're able to move. So Boris, Wilco, and Laurel still need implants. So let's try that. So I need 3 more. We'll do very sleepy. See if we can get very sleepy without the lack of hair. Just for funsies. These aren't genes that I particularly care to separate, but got nothing else going on, so it's fine. And then one last one. We'll go with superheat tolerant and psychic bonding. Oh, Evie, you're in the wrong... What the heck? And the last one would be Laurel. I don't think I need that. All right, let's keep cooking up baby Mark 3s and prisoners. Prisoner Mark 13s. Do they have to be turned on to generate power? What do you mean they? These prisoners also... I'm going to set wardening on to 1 so that they actually get managed. Oh, you mean reactors? Yeah, reactors will generate power whether they are spacefaring ready or not. They don't need to be spun up. So it's very expensive, but... And they're very large, but they're like effectively vanometric power cells that can't be moved around once built. So Boris and Wilco are the last 2 ones waiting. And I think they both have things pending implantation. Yep. Perfect. Okay, I have 2 empty pods. The reason why I've been slow to try to fill them, definitely running a bit of a shortage here, especially in baby food nutrition. And I don't really think there's much that I can do to, like, grow faster. Some of this rice is actually 100%, it just hasn't, like, ticked over. So I'm going to harvest it a little early, just to try to encourage new growth. But I'm a little worried about that. The alternative, or rather, another solution, I should say, is that I can call in bulkage traders from Inliar and Amtas in order to try to buy vegetables for baby food. In order to do some additional supplementation. Because that might not be a bad idea. Wow, the game is running chunky. Like, all of a sudden, is there like a error looping? No? Huh. I don't see anything wrong in terms of performance analysis. What I could try to do is just a quick save and load. But yeah, that's considerably chunkier than it normally runs. I'll show you the list of what can be turned into baby food, but the TLDR is essentially, it's more or less like vegetables and milk. That's about it. It's a pretty limited list. Yeah, it's still pretty chunky. So if you take a look at the baby food queue, here's what can be processed in baby food. So it's eggs, jelly, milk, and vegetarian. And that is the full extent of it. And I think what's happening right now is it is a lot of our... No, that's actually not a ton of rice. What I think our rice is just like in the hoppers. Oh, God, I'm glad I caught this. The prisoners here, like, don't have anything to eat. A psychic ship. With 2 apocrytons and lots of centipedes. Maybe quit and save? Yeah, I might have to do that, because this is particularly bad. It is running as if, like, there's error logs looping. You know what it could be? Is every now and then what ends up happening is a specific mod will bug out and start loop log reporting. If you, I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's a bit of a meme on the RimWorld subreddit, because what ends up happening when that happens is that the save game file, or the log file rather, for RimWorld becomes obscenely bloated. But that isn't actually not the case in my case. The my player log files are not a bajillion gigabytes. But yeah, what ends up happening is they start logging and they get stuck logging and they loop and they generate like they can generate like 100 gig text file that is completely unreadable because like there aren't text editors that are going to be able to open up 100 gig text file anyway. And all you have to do if that ever happens to you is just throw the log file out. No one needs to, you don't need to keep a 100 gig text file ever. Yeah, but taking a look at my performance stats, I've got pretty low CPU and GPU usage right now, so there was something wrong in the game and not bottlenecking for hardware. RimWorld's using I'll look in a second, because it's not fair when I'm just in menus like this. It's using 5% CPU and 1% GPU and a tiny fraction of memory. Randy's thinking real hard of how many mechs to send? Yeah, something like that. I wonder if it's all of the queued, because it happened right as I queued up all the rice to be harvested. It's like RimWorld's like, oh man, a giant rice harvest. Yeah, we're gonna screw up your game performance. It's actually running faster as we harvest rice. I mean, there are ways to solve this. Other ways to solve this. One of the reasons why I was really against, although I allowed it, of the boomlubs is boomlubs are just like more things that are moving around on the map tile, right? It's kind of detrimental, which is why I was like, oof, I don't want that. But other things that we could do, or consider at least, is to call. We could sleep the remainder or kill off the remainder of our non-hybrid prisoners, and start to call the hybrid prisoners. We could even get rid of some of the less useful mechs, although I'm not really sure that mechs sleeping on the ground inactive like this is really a drain on RimWorld. Or a strain, I should say. Have I considered garbage collector mods? Yeah, I'm running 3 of them right now, so I have considered it, and that is not the issue. The issue is it's just too big of a colony. We have a flawed 7. Reminds me I'm going to need more prisoner implants, because I'm running out. So let's get another giveaway timer. It's right up top. And get that implanted. Yeah, now that the rice has been like harvested, it doesn't seem to be much of a problem. Game was just like, blah, don't do the rice. Home, so I'll start scanning the new refugees in about a day. And then we'll need to eventually deal with the psychic ship. So they do have some Centurions. There's a few different ways to deal with the psychic ship. With as many centipede blasters as it has, Berserk Pulse obviously would hit them pretty hard, as would Insanity Lances. I could also do an antigrain mining like we did before. That's obviously always a solution too. So let's see how to handle the mechs. We could do uranium slugs, and psycasts. Psycasts alone. Tox, retaliation. Raids, anti-grain, or explosions. It's good enough. That's enough options. Have you decide? Where's that new baby? Dang, where'd the baby go? Oh, Cactus is holding it. Looks like, as a result of building all of the added power grid, steel is going to be a deep drill requirement too. You know, all of the solar power panels and all that jazz is a bit of a strain. So now that we have an expanded renewable power generators on the eastern grid, I'm going to flick off the central chemfuel power generators and just see how often it browns out to give me an idea of like the amount of ship reactors that I'm likely going to require. you're in a coma. That's fine. So you're going in. Once you're done with this, I have some other polling to do. Let's go ahead with some fertilization as well. So the pigskins are a good cross with Dragondale or Apoleus. I'm going to go with Apoleus this time around. I don't know what I did last time, but the possibility of tens sounds awesome. Where's the other pigskin egg? Yeah, there it is. Horowat. Horowat, what are you? You're Edekin. So Horowat. Oh, oops. Yeah, because I saved and loaded up RimWorld. Some of the settings reset. Horowat's best combo is... Well, actually, that might change Polog and... yes, it does. Whammy is a better mix for those. So, Apoleus, don't do that. But Whammy, do. Alright, the next for the Edekin, the best combination... God, where is it? Best combination would be Sky Collective. Alright. And it looks like you guys want me to take on the mechs with explosives. Copy that. The other Edekin is Cognon, so let's try to find his egg, her egg, his. I don't think we've extracted it. I don't see this in the group. You're on a timer. Okay, that's fine. And these, 6 with flaws, not going to keep it. So the update is it tracks up here, so I don't have to. Whammy, you definitely did not just fertilize that egg. I know you pretended to. I don't know what happened, but 3 with flaws, yeah, forget that. Yeah, I don't know what that was. That was really strange. I know I've never seen it like break down quite like that before. All right, Crabs the second. Good combination with Madsy. Madsy, you're going to be very overrepresented, I think. As soon as that will be true to a degree, because as soon as the 8s are adult, then that might not be true anymore. To Flutie. Your combination would be Shellbell. That's Brexios. Let's try this again. There we go. The other question is, should I crypto sleep the remaining genetically useless prisoners? Actually, not even remaining, just in general. So there's a reason why we shouldn't necessarily kill them, because if we run into a biodiversity bottleneck, I might need the breeding stock again. So killing them off isn't necessarily the best idea. What I could do is I could crypto sleep them, and I could even crypto sleep some of my hybrids. I'm gonna have you guys pull on that next. So the hybrids that are no longer useful, or at least what I deem is less than useful, like Val, for instance, who really only has 1 good gene, could be crypto slept or could be killed. You know, just could be straight up culled. Or enslaved and gifted you know, there's a lot of different things we could do with them. But with these prisoners, it just makes sense to either cryptosleep them or leave them out. And ultimately, that will be left up to you. But I'm going to start to make these kind of decisions in order to try to speed up the performance of the game, because that's quite honestly a pretty serious, limiting factor for succeeding in this scenario at this point. So, on flawed 9. Good job, Madsy. That's the first flawed 9 that we've ever had. Brexius. Your best combo is Sky Collective or Shellbell. That's Horowat. Man, I'm really bad at this. Horowat, weren't you already... Yeah, you're already a Sky Collective. Yeah, and no one's has arrived. So Brex is that one. So let's find Shellbell Sperm. Here we go. They're actually doing the fertilization now. So we'll be able to do it in a second. What are you doing? Try to do that again, huh? Just stood there with the vial and the egg and was like, I'm done. It's like, no, that's not what done looks like. 4, 5. Okay, so not keeping either of those. All right. Looks like, I'm just going to predict the result of this. It looks like the answer is going to be yes. So we'll start to get the extra vats built. One of the other advantages to this is I'll be able to empty out, turn off all of these, all the infrastructure for the other prisoners. Right? And just have one large hybrid prison. So it looks like we're going to phase them out. So let me update the priority. Right now it's blow up the mechs, sleep, prisoners, and expand power. Hey, Crimson. 4 years is a long time. And I know, you're going to say drinks on me, so cheers, dude. Oh, I just read your message. Yeah, I'm so used to having you say drinks on me that I just jumped the gun. Oh, I also had a raffle timer for that prisoner. GMT, you are already a mech. Steph, you just won something. Fresh cut meat. You are going to be the latest prisoner, this vat birth. Unfortunately, they're never going to see the light of day, but, you know. That's just... well, who knows? Maybe the colony will fail and you will escape at some point. It's always a possibility. Albeit a very small one. Hey, Hippie! Magic Hippie, thank you for the resub, too. Cheers! So this is going to require even more steel. So I know I just called in bulk goods traders. And Wendy, we might as well call in the Imperial trader while we're at it. Even though they don't show up with useful stuff. But I might want to move the drilling operation for steel, because I'm about to use a whole lot of steel expanding the power grid and crypto sleeping prisoners. So I'm going to prepare for that. There's a lot of steel here. Honestly, it's going to be easier just to run a cable out to them, I think. And then this venometric power cell can... I'll just plop it here. I don't really know where to put it. What a base I've made? I know, it's ridiculous. It's obscene. I didn't realize when I set out that the requirements to win this scenario that I set for myself would be so absurd and require such a ridiculous base. But here we are, and this is what it needs to look like. So let's continue the breeding so I can, because it looks like we are slowly getting the rice that we need for the growth fats. So let's get the breeding done. Phantom. Your best mix would be Apoleus at 9. There was a 10 in there, but it was a incest 10. Brahms. Is Brazit? Come on, give me a flawless 10. I would freak out. Foe. You are a Madzi. And Foe, you are an Impid. So is Mojin's egg here too? No. Shield, you're brand new. Whoa! It's the first chance for an 11. Shield cross with Stevie Viper is the first chance for a flawless 11. Albeit small. Very small. But there is a chance. Plex. I've been waiting to see that 11 pop up. For those that do not know, let me open up the genetic thing up there. So the ultimate goal of this scenario is to have an individual with germline, meaning inherited genes, not implanted, just straight up inherited, of all of those genes in the top right, or left, it's my right. All those genes in the top left with none of the genes in the top right. That's the ultimate goal. So the big goal is to have 11 of those genes represented in an individual, and we just had the first possible combination, which is an 11. No one has had a chance to inherit it, all 11 till now. So it's a milestone. Nitro Leak, your best combo is Madzi as well. Man, Madzi, you are going to be tired. And then Fletcher is the last one. Is a Sky Collective. But yeah, a lot of it is left up to RNG. So the genes you inherit, if both parents have the genes, you're like more or less guaranteed. I'm not going to say you're guaranteed, but you're more or less guaranteed to inherit it. If only one parent has the genes, it's a bit of random. So the closer we get to 11, the more likely that both genetic parents will have genes in common, meaning one of the 11 genes that we want, or some of the 11 genes that we want, making it easier and easier and easier to inherit the correct genes. Selective breeding, right? It's literally what selective breeding is. So we're getting closer to that. So that's a 5. Because, like, if you're breeding two 9s together, both 9s means that they're only missing 2 genes. So even if they're completely, even if those 2 genes are not related to one another, 5 of the genes that a breeding pair of 9s are going to be guaranteed to be inherited, and then the remaining 4 genes will be random, right? So that's why it gets easier as our numbers get better. So here's a 6, but it's like not a good 6. I don't even know. Here's a flawed 7. I don't even know if we're gonna keep 6s anymore. Like, that's how. Oh Lord, Madzi, it's a flawless 10. All it's missing is super immunity. That's it. RNG. I don't know what the chances are. I would love to know that. It's not unknowable. It's just insanely hard to calculate. But holy hell. We jumped from 8. 8 was our record, right? Last stream, at the end of last stream, we got 2 8s. And now we got a flawless 10? Dear Lord, that is leaps and bounds. Looks like Mike... Yeah, I'm just going to pull the trigger. Mike here is going to be grown in this vat. Downgraded. And this vat is going to be grown the Plex Madzi 10. So, grow Plex Madzi. I don't think there's any reason... There's not a good argument to be made of not doing that immediately. So let's just double check these eggs here. Yeah, there are some 6s in that batch, but like nothing that I'm gonna bother to haul. Show you the genes of the parent and you can calculate it? Okay, so Madzi here. So it was a Madzi cross Plex. So Madzi has fast wound healing, strong melee damage, robust reduced pain, strong stomach, robust digestion, and fur skin. So 7. And then she crossed with Plex. And if you're using print screen, you know, that was probably enough time to do it. She crossed with Plex, who's cold tolerant, strong melee damage, robust, reduced pain. So like strong melee damage, robust, reduced pain was a guaranteed inheritance. Mini horns, I think, was also guaranteed inheritance. Fast wound healing, slow wound healing. Because any of these genes in common, the fast wound healing, strong melee damage, robust, reduced pain, were guaranteed. Because I haven't modded. If you don't have it modded, where you have a metabolic efficiency quotient of -5 is the lowest you can go, it's far less guaranteed inheritance. But yeah, neither individual had super immunity, but they got everything else. Yeah, they got basically maximum roll. The Shield Stevie Viper had a chance for an 11, but yeah, I got a 6 instead. Has the 10 nearsightedness as well? No, did not inherit nearsightedness. So the negative genes that the 10 inherited was poor shooting, poor cooking, poor animals, and also intense UV. So they're very, very UV sensitive. So if you take a look at this chart, 11s is the maximum. So like Shield crossed with Apuleius can yield 11. Here, let me make this bigger. So there's some 11s in this chart, but it's very uncommon to see 11s. So like Shield, Stevie Viper was an 11 possibility. Whereas the Madzi Plex was a 10 possibility, and we inherited all 10. So there was a chance for a 10, and that's what we got. If we want to blow up the mechs... I think what I'm going to do for the mechs is set the... because there's a Centurion in the mix. I'm going to probably set an Antigrain Warhead to be blown up next to the Apocrytons. That's likely how I'm going to handle that. And then just use, like, slug turrets or something else like that. Just try to neutralize the Apocrytons immediately. Although the Apocrytons do have built-in shields, I don't know if their shields are going to trigger by the time it blows up. I guess we'll see. It's a bit of an experiment. So these eggs... Oh, you know, one thing I forgot to do is, like, actually smash these eggs now that they're done. In the future, what I'll do is anytime I do a fertilization and I don't like the results, I will remember to smash. Alright, gonna go through the males in here and no longer harvest their sperm, because I think we have plenty of sperm from these individuals. So the other question that I have for you all is what to do with the less than useful hybrid prisoners. Crypto sleep or organ harvested. So the advantage of crypto sleep is if I ever end up needing them, I can revive them. And then, organ harvesting. So if we did cryptosleep, what I would do is I would build a 7th chamber here, connected to the original 6 to put them in cryptosleep. If you were wondering. And I'll give you a nice long time to think on that, because it's, I think it's a rather important decision. Oh, come on, stop doing this. Stop micro-loading these hoppers. I'm gonna have the, Okay, it seems to me like you guys are ready. No, who is fighting? Boris? You're in a... No, who's punching? It's not fighting. We're destroying eggs. It was a 1.6% chance. Dang. I got lucky. I figured I got lucky. I had sort of the idea that it was like just extreme luck, but seeing the numbers written out like that, gotta count some blessings. If I include that it didn't include slow wound healing, it was a 0.8% chance. So less than 1% chance that that would have happened, and it's what I got. That's pretty crazy to me. Pretty crazy indeed. Oh, the other thing I could have done, well, is enslave gift. Some of them can't be enslaved, actually, but I could have donated them. Like, load them up into a pod. I don't think I'm going to cancel that poll and re-poll for it, though. It's not important enough. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld, the first Wendigo, which originally streamed live on Twitch, August 6th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, it also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Wendigo,